All right, Pisces, last but not least, this is going to be your new moon message for the new moon in Aries. What is it that Pisces needs to hear regarding this new moon in Aries, Spirit, for Pisces placements? You can apply to your sun, moon, rising, and Venus for Pisces. Today is the day. Well, that's exciting. So something's definitely going to be working out for you guys soon. It could also be that you need to initiate something. But it says today is the day. There is something you have been putting off, yes, and now is the time to do it. It may seem overwhelming, but beyond the horizon waits something more wonderful than you can know in these present moments. Do not be afraid. No one is ever truly ready at their first steps. It is not perfection that we seek, but a life lived fully. Yeah, so some of you guys may be knowing that there's a decision you need to make, or there's something you need to do and you've been putting it off. And it feels like this week. I know it says today is the day. Maybe you guys are watching this on the actual new moon on the 17th. But even if you're watching it a few days before, a few days after, it does feel like now is the time. You know, you can't hesitate anymore. It feels like that would only be you doing a disservice to yourself. There's something that you know needs to either be like eliminated from your life, a person that needs to be removed or something. And I feel like you are afraid of having to commit to that idea because of all of the changes it would bring into your life. There could be a level of like codependency, where you are avoiding this end because you don't really know what your life is going to look like when you're on your own, or when you choose yourself, or maybe you haven't done that in a while as well. And so with this new moon in Aries, it is like definitely kind of like forcing you to see that that is what needs to be done, because it feels like you already have been kind of dealing with the law on your own. And you have to realize that if you were to end this thing or whatever, it's actually going to liberate you. It's actually going to allow you to finally go out and find the support that you actually need, and not rely on something or someone that isn't actually feeding you spiritually, physically, whatever it is that you need. It could be a job as well, like a job you know you need to leave or quit, but you're afraid and you're like, okay, I should bet on myself, but I'm just not ready, and like making, excuses. Something like that for you, Pisces, that needs to be done as soon as possible. Once you see this reading, this is a confirmation. You probably already knew that, but this, hearing it again here, is going to be a reminder. Whoa, angel number. Okay, that just fell. 1 second. Angel number for Pisces. I love that for you, Pisces. Relax, 420. Maybe you guys also need to take a second, because I think a lot of you guys could actually be super like having high anxiety right now. So you could be super anxious about this decision. So I would say if it's like making you freak out, then take a second. You know what I mean? Like, don't do something that you feel is going to put you in a state of panic or anything like that. Obviously, if like quitting your job would really screw your entire life up, do not quit your job right now. But it definitely feels like right now is the time to start taking those steps. So with the 420, relax. It does make me think of slowing down, go smoke some weed, and also reflecting. You know what I mean? Taking some time to reflect before making any impulsive decisions. So of course, with the today is the day, I said like you may have already been thinking about something. So it's not like something you just thought of right now. It's something that you've been already hesitating on. And so it's about coming up with a plan and coming up with a point of execution, not necessarily just impulsively crashing out and ruining your life, So keep that in mind as well. There is a need to relax. Some of you guys could also be very stressed as of lately. And so I do feel like this stress is showing you that, this, whatever it is, for many of you, it's different. Like I said, it could be a job, a person, a relationship. It could be, like a relationship with like a family member or something, a friendship, that needs to end, like a friendship breakup. But it feels like the stress that is heightening in your life is showing you that this thing is not in alignment with you. So it's also not helping you to relax. So in those moments where you actually do want to relax, when you may feel like this thing is supposed to support that relaxation, whether it is a job and you don't feel like it's paying you enough. Like, it makes me laugh because it makes me think of weed, and it's like, I can't even afford my weed with this job, you know. But you know, if it's like a job, Pisces, or if it's a partner and you don't feel like they're allowing you that downtime to relax, you feel like you're responsible for everything, or other things like that, you know, where you're just spread too thin, where there's unrealistic expectations with you, with a lack of support of you, with a lack of support, um, it feels like you need to remove yourself from that environment, or definitely find a strategic way to do so, because you deserve to be somewhere where you don't feel like you have to like fight for your life to exist, and to have the things you need and have the support that you need. So if you do feel like that right now, it's a sign that you're out of alignment and that you do need to make a drastic change in your life, but to pace yourself, of course, and not, you know, do anything that is going to harm you. And like I said, I just want to emphasize, it says, do not be afraid. No one is ever truly ready at their first step. So this is, again, just the first steps. It's not like, you know, jumping into this thing full-fledged. So what else? This is the astrology oracle for you. Black Moon Astrology Oracle. So yeah, you have Black Moon Lilith, and it's the mystery card. And so there is one, you don't realize how much you're like missing out on, like this holding back, this settling for this thing or this job or this environment, this person. You could feel, even in your heart and your spirit, like unrest right now. You could also feel this, like the panic or the like anxiety that you feel could also be this feeling of like, I know I need to do this because maybe I'm like wasting time or missing out on something, you know what I mean? Like it does feel time sensitive, but you also know that once you do it, it's also going to be super challenging. So that could be where the panic is setting in, or like the overwhelm is setting in, because Black Moon Lilith is about like empowering yourself. It's against like feeling guilt or shame or being outcasted, or this could even, like I said, you may be afraid to end up alone. Like, say if you were to quit your job and then you can't find another job and you feel like you regret it, or oh no, I made a dumb decision, or you end your relationship and then you don't get into another relationship for a while and you're like, I'm never going to find someone again, you know. It could be that mentality as well, that fear that if you go with your true nature, with your true like how you feel and your convictions, that you're going to be outcasted or shamed or left alone or abandoned, or you're not going to have support that you need. But you don't realize you have to trust. First of all, this is about being in trusting in spirit. So I don't know what you believe in, Pisces, but you guys are very like spiritual sign. You're associated with intuition, so many of you may believe in, you know, God and your spirit guides and your ancestors, but that's your support system. That's who's going to look out for you. That's who's going to come in and support you and take care of you. And that's who's also trying to help you get redirected right now. And so with the today is the day, that message is coming from them. Today is the day, because if you take the first step, we got you. You know what I mean? So this is also a message from your guides. You may not always know where the next resource is going to come from, where your next relationship is going to come from, where your next support is going to come from. But think of all the times when someone came into your life unexpectedly to help fulfill a need that you didn't even realize you had, or maybe you had just prayed about, you know? And so that is something that you have to keep in mind, Pisces. And once you start to let go, relax, and surrender, it makes me think of the Hangman, you know, in tarot. That's your card. You will start to see things from a different perspective, and you will start to get the answers that you need. So I wish you the very best. I'm like, this was very short, but I feel like that's all I want to say. It was very straight to the point, and I feel like that's the nature of these Aries new moon messages, because all of the planets in Aries right now. But I'm gonna leave it there, and if you have any questions or thoughts, comment below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon, and take care.